Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, you can still see my room, but it's not recorded in the way that I usually do. So I'm so excited to introduce you guys to my first episode and to my good, amazing friend, Gianvito, who's here with me that I'm going to be doing my first podcast with. So Gianvito, please can you just do like a quick introduction about yourself and how we met and all that jazz?
Hello, I am Gianvito. As you can understand by my accent, I'm not British, I'm just Italian. I'm very Italian. And I met Belinda several years ago. I can't remember how many years ago, to be honest. And we used to work in the same floor, not in the same company, but on the same floor. And we made friends immediately. And 5 years down the line, we're still here podcasting. And that's absolutely lovely. So here I am.
Yeah, it's just like honestly, I think we met in like during our break at work and we were in the kitchen. I was warming up my food and I think you were going to warm up your food next. And we just started talking. And then ever since then, we've just been like really, really good friends. But yeah, I just for this episode, we want to touch on the topic of dating and especially in lockdown. So dating in lockdown. So for all of my American viewers or non-British viewers, if you already know or you don't know, the UK is currently in a lockdown and we can't exactly meet someone else from another household. So we thought, okay, this would be a really good topic for people who are in relationships and how they deal with dating and being in a like boyfriend or girlfriend and stuff. So I thought this would really cool. So on the topic of dating, Gianvito, are you dating anyone?
Is it a good answer? Probably it's a good answer. We're not gonna cut this out from the recording. Yes or no, I'm not dating anyone. It's literally very hard. It's very hard. Lockdown, and if you're single and you're locked down, you just can't meet people. So the only thing that you have is literally the swapping situation, which it's got pros and cons. Lockdown anyway, it's very hard because even if in normal circumstances you would swipe, you would match with somebody, hopefully, and then you would meet for a coffee. That's what you are supposed to do. But in lockdown, you swipe, you hopefully match with somebody, and it just ends there. You cannot move forward. That's a very weird thing. It's a very odd thing. You just need to hope that the person you're matching with actually lives nearby. It's the only thing you can hope for, because at least you can go out, you can just have a walk and a socially distance walk. But that never happens. Usually they're always, miles away, not at a walking distance. And that's very hard. That's probably the biggest blocker that we do have, I guess all of us, we do have in online dating, just to make sure you match with somebody and you cannot meet because they just live too far away. And London, I live in London, is just like this. It's just too big, and I don't have a car, and you need to stay locally. So that's the thing. So you follow the rule. So you need to stay locally.
Yeah.
So you just need to wait for when the restrictions are eased, and that can be in a long time. And what are you gonna do in between? That's the biggest question. What are you gonna do in between? And usually the conversation just fades away.
Oh, right. It just never goes past that one stage during a lockdown. So you're talking about swiping. Are you on any dating apps right now?
Yeah, way too many, I would say.
Tell me, what are those dating apps, if you want to tell me?
Yeah, no problem. I have Tinder as usual. I have Hinge, and I have Bumble. Funny enough, you always have the same people in all of them. So it's like you basically see the same people 3 times. That's what you're gonna do. But sometimes you have some variety. Apps have pros and cons. We could just spend a long time talking about pros and cons of apps. But yes, that's what I'm using. I would say that in London, in my gay world, I'm gay. If people did not understand that already, I would say that apps are full of people of the community, part of my community. So it's nice to be able to see, somebody part of the community and have a chat, try to match, have a chat. So yeah, People are there, plenty of fishes, but nothing is really moving forward. That's what I would say.
Yeah. I mean, so have you met anyone? I mean, I know you said that like none don't even go past stage 2 to actually meeting them and socially distancing, but have you connected with anyone on that app that you think, oh, okay, maybe I would want to meet that person after lockdown?
Actually, yes, but for some reason, I would say that the ghosting situation, the ghosting game is becoming stronger and stronger,
Yeah.
I would say. So I actually matched with a couple of people that I did fancy, I would say.
Yeah.
But then, there's this ghosting situation. But to be honest, on a bigger level, I would say might also be due to the situation. Maybe I'm not good enough, so people don't like me, which is fair enough. But it's a vice versa. So people don't like me, I don't like people, so that's fine. But I think that on another note, the lockdown situation is causing this ghosting, etc., to be enhanced a lot.
Yeah.
Because I would say, you need to wait a long time before meeting people. That's how it works, because we are in lockdown, so you cannot go out. And I would say the motivation to keep something just virtual going, just for, I would say, for the sake of it, for hoping that when you meet, then you will say, oh yeah, it was worth it. That motivation is not there. And I do really understand this. Virtual dating is very hard in normal circumstances, in a normal world. More often than not, you match with somebody, you have conversation with somebody, and maybe you like the person, then you meet the person live, and you're like, are you the same? Are you the same person? It happens all the time. You know why? Because you meet somebody virtually, and clearly the app does not give you a 100% understanding of the person. So your mind, in my opinion, starts filling the gaps. So what you don't know about the person, what is not conveyed to you by the app, just your mind is making it up. And usually your mind doesn't how can I say, doesn't play down, just wants to be idealistic, wants to get the best version of it, which means that when you meet the person in real life, they don't meet the expectations. And that happens all the time. And I've understood that the more you wait before you meet it for the first time, the worse the outcome will be. That's how it works, because your mind keeps on building and building and building. Then you meet somebody finally, and they're just not how you were imagining them, and you're just letting down yourself, but you can't really help it. So that's why I always say, let's meet ASAP. But clearly in lockdown, it doesn't work.
Yeah. Do you feel like it was so much easier dating before the pandemic or after, do you think? I feel like, okay, this is what I think. It's like, I think before dating was kind of like, okay, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Some people are more active than others. Some people are not. I feel like dating was kind of like just available anywhere. But now that everyone is forced to stay at home, people are starting to get lonely, especially if you live by yourself and you're not having family or friends with you around. You kind of get sucked into wanting that human connection and human contact. So people kind of feel like, oh, I need to go in this app. And some people able to find someone and some people are not. And I kind of just feel like, do you feel that it's a little bit easier for some people, that it's easier for them to date online than it is in real life? Because before the pandemic, they had a life, they had work, they had friends and family to see, they had hobbies and do all these other things. And now that they're all locked in, they're kind of like, I don't have any of those things. So they kind of feel like they have to fall back on something just so they can reach that human connection. Like, what do you think?
I think it's multifaceted as an answer. I mean, it's fairly complex. I would say for sure that the more you feel lonely or alone, there's a difference between them. But let's say you're just alone in your house, and you're single. Probably, if you used to date, you just want to keep on doing it. And clearly, in a lockdown situation, I am expecting all the apps to just skyrocket in terms of usage. Clearly, it's the only thing. If you used to date and you want to keep on doing it, the only way to do it is just virtually. So I'm sure that people will start using the apps more and more and more. So that's for sure. In terms of how things have changed, I think it's very personal. I think it's very personal, and it really depends on the life path of each one of us. I would say there might be people who, yes, were dating before, and now they're in lockdown, and they're like, you know what, I'm just here to just, recenter myself, just rediscover myself, and I take this as an opportunity not to look for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other side, you also have people who say, you know what, I'm here just on my own, and I do want to find somebody else. I do want to, to pave the road for something after lockdown. I think it's very complicated. Well, not complicated, multifaceted, I will say. Many people can have their own opinion around this.
Yeah. And I know that the other day you spoke to me about flirting with a mask on. Because I think you told me a story. Okay, Gianvito basically told me a story when he was out. I don't know if you were getting groceries or something, but you were out, you had your mask on, and I think you made eye contact with someone and you were trying to like flirt with your eyes. So do you feel like that's going to be a whole new way of flirting during this time?
Let me explain. So I was at the grocery store to do my, shopping. And, I'm single and I like connecting with people. And in normal circumstances, I would go around. And if I see somebody that I fancy, I don't mind just, putting there a smile, just maybe eye contact. Anything can happen in this life. If you're not brave, you would never know. Maybe you will find your Prince Charming just because, you're buying the same. I wanted to say banana, but you buy the same fruit, you're buying something. You're just choosing, you're just there, at the fruit counter, you're just buying stuff. And you say, oops, hi, that's something you would do. Or from the distance, you would say, you
don't say anything, you just smile.
You just smile. There you go. You just smile. I have the mask. You just smile.
It's not even seen.
People sometimes say, yeah, but you smile with your eyes. Come on. Come on. Yes, of course you see things changing in your face. Absolutely. But, you see somebody that you fancy, down the aisle at Marks and Spencer, and then you smile with the mask on. They don't see that. They just see you staring at them in a creepy way without smiling, just there, still. What are they going to think? Either you're a weirdo, or just you just don't know where to go. You just lost. Yeah. Surely they're not thinking that you fancy them. Yeah. But again, this is very weird because as much as you are wearing a mask, so you cannot show that you're smiling at people. At the same time, the other person is wearing a mask. And that's very odd because what does it mean? It means that you are kind of getting attracted by this person's eyes, face, and look with mask. What does it even mean? It's very odd. So we kind of started getting accustomed to this only eyes visible type of scenario. And then, I think your mind just settles with that. That's what you have. Just, that's enough. But this opens up another discussion around, then you meet somebody, and this happened to me. We had a date when we could actually go out before the third lockdown. And for the first part of the date, we used to wear a mask. So this was a virtual encounter on Tinder. And then so I saw his pictures. Then we met, and we were wearing masks. Everything was fine. I was like, I was thinking, you have such a beautiful pair of eyes. You're literally so handsome. Then eventually he said, okay, shall we take off the masks? So he took off the mask, and I was like, No, no, I was not saying this. In my mind, I was like, you know what? I just really liked your eyes, but then you took off your mask, and then everything changed from a physical perspective.
Yeah.
Clearly, we're talking about physical attraction. That's what we're talking about, not like emotional. We're talking about physical attraction.
Yeah.
But from that point of view, it completely rebalanced and changed everything, because you were not just looking at the eyes of the person, but you were looking at the whole face. And I was literally not liking his mouth, literally not. That's the problem. And there's no shame in that. I do like you, you like me. I don't like you, you don't like me. It's how it works. We need to match each other in this world. And I just was not liking it, and that kind of put me off a lot. It was very weird, because I specifically remember we were walking in Oxford Street. I was looking at his eyes, and I was like, oh, that's so handsome. And then I removed the mask, and I was like, keeping on smiling, because I didn't want to be awkward. But in my mind, I was like, I just don't fancy you anymore. So this is weird. I think this is another way to look at the situation. We have all these kinds of issues now.
Yeah.
The mask and physical attraction is different, and all these kind of things. But yeah, we can laugh on it. That's the only thing we can do at the moment. Let's just laugh on it.
Just laugh it out.
Let's laugh on it.
And it's just so interesting, because like it kind of just proves that there are some people out there, we all find different parts of our faces attractive. Like in another person as well, you would find another part of their face that you find attractive. I feel like if another person has really nice eyes, I would be attracted to eyes. Like I think eyes are very attractive on a guy. I think a smile on a guy is really attractive as well. If he has a nice smile, it's always a plus if he has a dimple, because I have a dimple if no one knows. So whenever I smile, it just ends up there. But I only have one dimple on my right cheek. I don't have anywhere else on my face. So I do find dimples on a guy really cute as well. And I love the jawline also. So I don't know why, but those are just some of the things I find really attractive on a guy physically. But it's just so interesting that like because with masks, it kind of just shows that like, we are in this world, we are more attracted. The physical appearance always attracts us first. And then that's when the emotional and the mental and the whole relationship thing comes along with it. And because of like social media and stuff and dating apps, even people just want to show their best side. And like, I don't know, I love it with dating apps and social media. It's never always the true form of the person. So it's kind of like, if I don't like you from physically, don't even think about meeting me the second time to get to know you afterwards. So it's just really interesting that like there are some people who are just so interested in certain parts of your faces and some people are not, and then that's how it determines if they want to get to know you or not, which is interesting, which is so cool.
Yeah, it's very interesting. About this in these days. I've been thinking about something. I think I've heard it on TV, and then I started meditating on it a bit. Some people say that if you're looking for like love, real love, at the end of the day, you might find that this person that you're gonna love is a friend who actually, for whom you actually develop something else. So first of all, you start from a friendship level, and you bond on things, but not related to sex or romance, etc. Just you bond on other things, and then it happens that something evolves into physical attraction, romance, and all the rest of it. So then you build something romantic, which has got foundations on other aspects. Something you do share together. This is very interesting. So this makes me think that if I want to find love, I need to find first of all a hobby, something that something that I am interested in, and which could be social in a way, which could allow me to meet people, share the same hobby, share the same interest, and then probably in that circle, I would find somebody. This is interesting. This is possibly, I would say, the most organic and natural path to find romance. Then we have dating apps. which go from the other way around, because you're not starting a connection basing on a hobby, something you can really build on top, something, some interest. But you start a conversation from the romance side, so it's the other way around. And then if you have this physical attraction, then what you do afterwards, so it's a second stage, you make sure that you have something in common, rather than you make sure that you have something in common and then you see if you have a physical attraction. This is very interesting. That's also why I don't really like dating apps in general. I mean, amazing because it's the only way at the moment, and even without lockdown, to meet people. But at the same time, I know that what comes out of dating apps might not have the same foundation that you would have if you're lucky enough to meet somebody in other circumstances.
Yeah.
Anybody can say anything and the opposite of anything on this subject. There are surely people who found love, and I'm happy for them on dating apps. And I would love to, since it's the only thing that I'm doing at the moment, I really hope to find it there. But nevertheless, I do think there is this big subject around doing things the other way around, which could mess up things. Sometimes I will say it's happened to me. Maybe you are at work, and you have your job crush, your work crush, or how you say. It's happened to me way too many times, and that's a problem. But that's for another podcast. That's another conversation. But what I mean by that is that you find somebody that maybe you don't really fancy the person too much, but since you are there, you're obliged to maybe be desk to desk and just spend time together. You find that you have maybe things in common, and then they grow on you.
Yeah.
So even if they don't have, as I said, the beautiful smile because they took off the mask, that's fine, because you have other things. So I think that's the main problem of dating apps. How we can solve it, I absolutely have no clue.
Yeah, I definitely agree that dating apps definitely make us a lot more superficial. Like, in this world, we're so superficial now. I blame social media for it. And I think it's really interesting when you said that the most organic and best natural way to a romantic relationship is just being friends first, like looking at your friend group and finding, getting to know them and having something in common. And then naturally you will be attracted to them, because that's a story that happened to my parents. At first they were just friends. They were actually just work colleagues at one point, when they first met. So both of my parents were working at a beach resort or hotel resort in Thailand, and it's still there right now, and it's the oldest beach resort in Thailand, I think, in Phuket. I can't remember what my mom told me, but it's a really, really old hotel resort, and it's still there. So my mom was a receptionist and my dad was a bellboy. So he was the guy that would take your bags for you to your room and make sure that you are settled and all comfortable once you reach to your room. But yeah, like they had the same friend group. They all work colleagues. My mom never really looked at my dad in that way. She just saw him as a work colleague and as a friend. But according to my mom, my dad had a crush on my mom, and he just never really acted on it. And then this whole story of them moving to London and like settling here. And obviously my mom didn't know anyone else here in London, because obviously she's not from here originally. But then somehow she managed to see my dad here in the same spot. And obviously, no, they don't know anyone else beside each other. So obviously, naturally, the only person they know is them two. And they obviously spent a lot of time together. And then that's what grew into this relationship. So my mom always told me, like, it's always, if you're open to looking for anyone, be friends with them first, and then it can progress, see if it can progress anything more. If not, that's fine. If it is, then that's great. But yeah, my mom always told me just be friends first and see how it goes, because I think it works so well for her. So now
that's a very sweet story. That's a very sweet story, and it really proves, this theory that you kind of need to be friends first. You need to get in touch with each other.
Yeah.
Beside the romantic side, you need to get together, but for other reasons. And I think also this opens up the discussion around how much pressure you feel when you're using dating apps, etc.
Yeah.
You meet somebody and then maybe you just don't fancy them, but probably at the same time you think, I don't fancy you, there might be potential. You never know. But at the same time, that's very weird, because if you don't fancy somebody on a dating app scenario, would you still keep on speaking with them?
Yeah.
Yes, no, gut feeling, I would say no myself.
Yeah.
But does it close any door for us? Probably yes. Would you ever know? No. But that's exactly the consequence of this discussion, because you gone from the other way around.
Yeah.
And then you might you miss chances? Yes, probably yes. That's just very weird. But you can't do much about it. And this one follows the whole discussion around ghosting, because I think everything is very, very linked together. People say, "Oh, ghosting is so bad. You don't have to ghost people." Blah 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 blah. But let me say something about this. Ghosting is a very weird phenomenon. But if you think about it, the ghosting situation it's that you speaking with somebody on a dating app, and then all of a sudden you just say bye. I mean, you don't even say bye. You just don't reply.
That's the face of the earth.
Which I find it quite true, to be fair, because I prefer people say, just there isn't any chemistry, so let's leave it there.
Have you ever ghosted anyone? Be honest.
Probably a couple of times.
Okay.
Probably a couple of times, but not more than that, because it's not something that I like doing. Usually people ghost me.
Oh.
Can you put that crying emoji here? The crying emoji, yes. But anyway, yes, basically, my theory around this is that, ghosting is so dramatic to close a relationship, let's put it this way. But if you think about it, the kind of counterpart, how dramatic it was to get to know the same person. You meeting that when you ghosting somebody, usually that you meet on a dating app, but you meet somebody on a dating app in such a quick and fast and dramatic way, just swiping, match, yeah, you got a match with the heart emoji, and then you just say hi, blah blah blah. It's not organic. I would say that the ghosting is as dramatic and as hard as it is matching with the same person. I think it's the same level of dramatism, how heavy it is. So it kind of counterpart it. So yeah, it's not nice to ghost people, but I might understand where people come from, because you just you match with them in such a quick way. You don't need to spend a long time.
Yeah,
when it's 2 seconds to match them.
Yeah, it is quite a weird world we live in, because now that with a touch of a button, we want instant gratification. We want things instantly. And I think people has forgotten how to be patient. Obviously, building a long-term, meaningful relationship takes time. I think I heard a quote, actually not a quote, but someone once told me building a relationship is like building a house. If you rush it with sticks and stones and straws, it's not going to last very long, because you didn't put time and effort into it. Whereas if you build the house properly with bricks and cement, with actual thought and thinking and testing it, it's actually going to last longer, and your house is going to be stronger, which basically means that your relationship is going to be stronger and it's going to test the time. So I was just I think with all these dating apps and liking someone with heart emojis and stuff like that, and messaging them instantly and say, can we meet straight away? It's we want things instantly. And I've learned that when people get things instantly, they get bored easier and quicker, because they've got all they wanted. They feel okay, next, who's the next person? Whereas if they had to work for it, they get more excited about it and they chase it more, because they've never had to put so much effort into something before, because everything else they get instantly by snapping their fingers. But now if they find something that they actually have to put effort in, they're more likely to stick around a lot longer. But obviously, some people are not that patient. Some of them are just going to give up and like, okay, I'm not getting this from this person straight away. I'm just going to move on to the other person because I can't be asked to wait. I'm not patient enough. You're kind of just like, okay, well,
yeah, that's it. You exactly, you're absolutely right. That's the whole point around being so quick and so fast in doing everything. Yeah, I think everything falls down from that. You match very quickly, you ghost, break with people very quickly because you don't have the chance to build something. Talking about the hobby, the foundation, the house metaphor actually fits very well. It's a better, I think, the right foundation. But yeah, the problem is that how do you build a foundation on a dating app?
yeah,
I don't know. I feel that there is a trend by dating apps, and I'm referring to Hinge and what's the other one, Bumble. They do have those like prompts. They call them prompts. So I think also Tinder is starting introducing them. So they give you like a chance to go deep in some interests rather than having like an open-ended bio like Tinder has always done. You can have some like precise questions which could somehow allow you who would like to match with them to a more understanding of the interests. So build that kind of foundation, but still it's just very, I don't want to say superficial, but very thin. It's very, very thin, very fragile.
Not much substance, do you mean? Like there's not much to go with?
No, I don't want to say substance because maybe some prompts and some answers can convey substance because people just put some spirit in what they're writing. But I would say the dynamic of me seeing your answer, does it build a foundation? No, probably just says, oh yeah, it tickles your brain maybe. Oh yeah, maybe there is something there.
Yeah.
Does it build that foundation? But then I would say it's something that goes alongside the pictures. I like your pictures, I like your prompts. Yeah, fine, good. And now let's move on from there. What does it mean move on? Let's go again from the other way around. So yeah, it kind of still falls back to the same idea that I am there because I want to date you, not because I want to get to know you. If there's any difference, I think the dynamic is opposite to when you join, I don't know, pottery club, or you go to a dance class, whatever it is. You choose your hobby, and you're just there because you just want to have fun. You just want to meet people, make some friends, have like some social life, but you're not there with the idea of possibly, just you go there the first time. Oh, I like you. I want to date you immediately. You go there. You just have a conversation and you see how it goes with no pressure. You're not exposing yourself immediately. Hi, I like you. I want to date you tomorrow. You usually don't do that. You're just there. You just seize the moment and try to meet and talk with people, and then you see how it goes. And that's I think the strongest point of all of this is that you might, a scenario, you go there, you see somebody, you fancy somebody so much, which is the same idea of I fancy somebody here, so I swipe right because I like you so much. The problem, actually, the good thing is that if you like somebody, you can go speak with them, not because you want to date them, not because you just want a romance immediately, but because you want to get to know them. And maybe you find out that the beautiful face and the beautiful aspect that they have doesn't really match what comes out of their mouths. So it's a way to say, I get to know you. I'm not telling you yet that I want to date you, but I want to get to know you first. And I get to know you. And if what comes out of your mouth is good, then I'm going to say, I actually fancy you as well. Otherwise, you would just backtrack and say, oh, yeah, you're nice, you're cute, but maybe next time. So, it's a kind of way not to expose yourself too much and still have the time to get to know somebody without saying, oh, I want to have a romance with you, which is what happens with dating apps. You match with somebody, it's because you want to have a romance with them immediately.
Yeah,
that's how it works.
Yeah. So A random question just popped into my head, but like, do you feel that dating in London in a big city like this is quite hard? I mean, I don't know if you've been to any other cities or you've heard about dating in other cities, but I've heard at like places like LA, for example. I've heard that, people are very superficial over there. They're like, if you're cute, I'm cute, let's just get together. That will make a really cute Instagram photo. This is what I've heard. I don't know if it's true. Any of my American viewers that are watching this, please confirm what I'm just saying. But if it is true, that's basically wraps up with what we said, like with just wanting to look good to get others validation and instant gratification and making yourself look good by dating someone who looks just as good as you. It's a very shallow and very superficial relationship and not actually interested in getting to know that person. But I feel like with dating in London, it is quite hard. I think it's because it's a very fast pace, the hustle and bustle kind of city. Everyone's on their own mission. Everyone's got places to go and people to see. And like, there's so many people in this city that I don't even know where to begin. Do you know what I mean? It's hard. But like, it's like, I don't know why. I don't find it intimidating dating in London. I just feel like everyone's doing their own thing and they're not so concerned with actually building something meaningful with a person because their main focus is themselves, which is not wrong at all. You should be, loving yourself and putting yourself forward. But I feel like whenever if they want like a guy company or a girl company, they just want it just quickly for the day or for the night. But then after that, it doesn't really progress into anything. So I kind of feel like people dating in big cities such as London or New York or Paris or whatever, it's quite hard because there's so much going on that you can't keep focused with just one thing. Like, what do you feel? Do you feel that's the same with you as well? Have you ever like find it a bit hard to date in a big city like London? Have you dated back home in Italy? What's the difference?
Yeah, that's interesting. I think again you can see this thing from several angles. Something that I have understood is that it doesn't really matter how big the city is to meet somebody, but it really matters the type of action that you do. Mm-hmm. This kind of links to what we just said about joining a club, like a hobby or like something social. The city can be huge. The city can be very, very small. But if you don't join a club in which we still have 20 people, no more than that,
yeah,
it still doesn't work. So it doesn't really matter how big the city is if you don't do this step.
Put yourself out.
Sorry?
Like put yourself out there, do you mean?
Exactly. If you don't put yourself out there, it just doesn't work independently from the city. What does matter instead is that clearly the bigger the city, the more people you have, and the more chances you have to meet somebody that you actually fancy, compared to my small town in Italy. You don't have so many people of the gay community there.
Yeah.
You clearly have them, but you cannot compare a small town in Italy with London. Clearly, if you join a club, a social environment in Italy, where I am from my city in Italy, and here, you have the chance to meet more people here.
Yeah,
that's for sure. So that's where the big city situation helps, because you have more people, you have more chances to meet people. And at the same time, I would say in a city like London, you have more variety of clubs. I keep on saying club, but not like dancing. I would love to go to dance, by the way, but it's like a social, like a hobby. You have more of them. You have a higher variety. So that's where it comes down. In terms of being superficial, I'm not sure about that. I mean, I don't have probably enough experience to comment on how superficial London is compared to like a small town.
Yeah,
I would say you can find everyone, like in every city, big or small. You can find the superficial one. You can find the one who's a workaholic and just doesn't care about anything else. You can find the one who just wants a romance straight away. You can find the one who just wants fun. All of them absolutely legit. I mean, I'm not judging absolutely everyone. Everyone is free to do what they want, absolutely. And I would say you can find every single type of person in every single city bigger or smaller it is, I would
Yeah.
say. So yeah.
Do you find, okay, a big question to you. Is there a big difference between, let's say, okay, I don't know if you dated any English guys here, but what's big difference between dating an English guy and like dating an Italian guy back home or dating like someone from another country? Is there a big difference between dating people between different countries? Because for me, from what I've heard, I feel like with English guys, they are, well, it depends. Let's say London guys, because I know those. So London guys, for me, in my personal opinion, they're a little bit more rough around the edges. They're a little bit, they're like, you know what I mean? Like they're, oh, it's so hard to say, but like they're a little bit rough around the edges. They're not too gentlemanly. Like they're just guys. They're just like, just rough guys, very masculine. I know it's so weird to say, but then like if I was to compare that to like an American guy, for example, like I feel like their American guys are a little bit more friendlier. They're a lot more gentlemanly. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I could be completely wrong, but this is just what I've somewhat experienced. Not like I have not dated a whole bunch of guys, but just from what my own personal experience, like British guys versus American guys, they're very different in the way that they approach a girl or like in dating. But yeah, I just feel like British guys are a little bit more reserved, a little bit rough around the edges, but yeah, still have something rough about them. But then American guys are just a little bit more, I feel like they're more friendly, they're more likely to approach you, they're more outspoken, they're more like, introduce themselves, I think, anyways, but I could be wrong. What's your experience?
So I would say that surely there are cultural differences.
Yeah.
Italian people, British people, American people, East Asian people, there are absolutely differences from a cultural point of view. And we're talking about where you grew up, so the type of culture you've been exposed to. So not really like the race, like literally the
environment. Yeah,
exactly, the environment you have absorbed growing up. Surely there are differences, but at the same time, as much as there are differences, I would say, in Italian there's a saying which is ogni mondo è paese, which basically means that wherever you go, you will still find the same groups of people. So I would say London, yes, you can find the rough around the edges people, but at the same time you can find the refined people and the other side. In America, I'm sure you can find the more spoken, etc. You said, and all the other ones. I'm sure you can find all the categories everywhere. At the same time, from a cultural point of view, I do believe that cultures do lean towards maybe one side compared to another. Like, for example, as Italians, we're very like warm people, we like hugging, etc. Probably it's not a prerogative of British people, stereotypically speaking. But again, this is just a very stereotype type of discussion. But there are several shades in between, and there are several ways and edge cases, and something that just is out of the norm, if we may say so, well, out of the stereotype. And this is beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. So what I would like to say is that everywhere you can find any type of person. Possibly what the difference is where we are looking for that person.
Yeah.
I don't know, just saying, possibly on the app, talking about dating apps. Maybe you find just a specific type of person on dating app. Probably if you want somebody more reserved, more, I don't know, probably you will not find that person on a dating app. Does it mean that, for example, London lacks of those people? No, just possibly they're not on a dating app. So that's what I think.
Yeah. So from your experience, like what have you found culturally different between dating people from two different places? Have you experienced anything like that? Like you've dated people that are like, oh, okay, so you do this in your country, but we do this here, or like it's weird if you do like that over here. Like, have you experienced, dated someone that's like, oh, okay, that's how you guys, meet for the first time, or is that how you say hi for the first time?
Yes, I don't. So I wouldn't say that I have something specific to dating. I can't recall any specific example on dating, but one of the beauties of London is that there are so many cultures in it, so many, and if you want to, you have the chance to meet so many people from any part of the world. And coming from a small town in Italy, and arriving in London, and then now more than 5 years in London, I managed to get in touch, to experience several points of view, several ways of doing things. And this applies everywhere. The customs just do change. And I also, this is very interesting. I have adapted to those as well. Me living in the UK, now I'm sure that I have kind of absorbed some British way of doing things, which is very funny, because when I go back home, then I do realize, when I'm here just on, but when I go back home in Italy, I do realize that I have internalized some of those behaviors. And
Yeah.
this is all along the fact that yes, there are cultural differences. In terms of some specific example, I'm just thinking about it, but not really. I don't have any specific example, but surely I can say that by dating people from East Asia, people from other parts of the world, there are differences in terms of the approach. But again, not really related to dating, but how we do interact as human beings in a way. And this is absolutely beautiful and scary, because sometimes you need to adapt, and you need to yeah, it's scary sometimes, because you might find yourself in a situation in which you kind of feel uncomfortable with what is going on, but it's not because the other person wants to hurt you, wants to whatever. It's just because we do approach things differently, and you just need to keep in mind that we do behave differently. And as much as a particular behavior by somebody else can feel a little bit odd to you, at the same time what you're doing can feel odd for somebody else. And probably the beauty just to understand this, and to make sure that we are different, and we do celebrate our differences, and we try to also to see, and while we do celebrate our differences, we try to see where we can get together, where are the parts in common in all of this.
Yeah, the common ground, perhaps. Yeah. So now back to the whole dating and lockdown. Now that we've discussed about the single life in lockdown, what about people who are in relationships and living with their partner in lockdown? Do you think this whole lockdown experience has tested people's relationships? It's either really strengthened their relationship, or they've just broken up and they've divorced. Because I've read a couple of times on the BBC News, like on Facebook or something, that people have like actually divorced their partners like during lockdown because they just couldn't take them anymore. And I don't know if I should really laugh at that, or just really think like, okay, what did you base your relationship on when you first got married, like for it to fall apart during this time? But yeah, I just want to know, what's your opinion? Like, do you think, it's probably a bit of both, isn't it? Like lockdown has probably strengthened some relationships and has probably broken some. But yeah, have you heard any stories from like friends or family who have experienced kind of one of these things?
Yeah, so I would say, so let's start from this. I remember when the first lockdown was introduced, so back 1 year ago. I was watching the daily briefing from Number 10, and there was one of the scientists who was actually talking about this very candidly. And she said, if you are in a new relationship, now it's your turn to make a choice, to make a decision. Because basically that was the moment when they were saying, guys, now we're going to go on a lockdown and you cannot get out from the house. So, and you need to basically decide in which household you want to stay, basically. And she was mentioning those newly formed couples. And she said, yeah, this is a moment of test for you either way, because you can decide to stay apart, because it's a new couple, so you stay apart, and this will test your relationship. Or you can decide to stay together for the entire lockdown, and this will test your relationship. So this is pretty much what she said, and that's very true. That's very true, and this applies to, clearly she was mentioning newly formed couples, but I would say that in strong long-term relationship, I would say that all of this caused some steer. Did ruffle some feathers, I would say, because clearly you're spending so much more time with somebody. Again, I'm single, so I'm just saying this out of logical understanding, not because I've experienced it. But I would say you're going to spend so much more time with somebody, and you just start lacking your own time, your the famous me time, which is not something selfish. It's something that you need to recenter yourself, something you need to gather energy, to relax, to reground yourself. And if you always with somebody, you don't have your me time, then possibly for some people it can be tough. It can be really tough.
And I guess it's probably like even harder because let's say if your partner is an introvert and you're an extrovert, it might clash a little bit, don't you think? Because if you're an extrovert, you constantly need that human interaction to get through your day. Whereas if you're an introvert, you're like, I need me time to get myself through the day. And back off. So it's kind of like, I think those kind of relationships and couples would be probably really difficult because you guys aren't even on the same page when it comes to human interaction. Like, that is going to be quite a scene. It's going to be quite a journey for them. Like, would you count yourself as an introvert or an extrovert, or you're an ambivert? Do you know what an ambivert is?
I guess you mean both of them.
Yeah. Which one would you? Yeah.
That one, because I do treasure my me time. I've lived on my own for more than 5 years now. 5 years ish, and I've learned how to cope with being alone and being lonely. And in general, I have understood how much I do treasure my me time. So I need it. I need it because I do think a lot. Probably I overthink, but I do think a lot, and I need this time, meditation, do my things with my own pace at home, just spending some time on my own. But at the same time, I do get energy from the interaction with people. So I do need the interaction with people to energize myself. If there are days in which I can't speak and interact with people, I do feel like deflated. So I need that interaction to gain energy. It's like I've always supported the idea of balance. I try to be a balanced person. I try to put balance in everywhere, and by that I mean that yes, I need that stronger connection with people to absorb, to build bridges, to get that energy going. But at the same time, also need a moment of how can we call it, like settlement? I don't know how we can describe it. Like where you kind of process and digest all of that, and you need your me time, and then you move again. It's like a yin yang somehow. You need that kind of energy part, but then you need the compression part, decompression. So this is where I am. So I definitely need both of them.
I'm an ambivert as well. Like if you were to invite me to like a friends group, like a small group of people, just to go out for like to eat or to drink or something, I will be there. Especially if it's like a close group of friends, I'm all for it. And I will socialize as much as I want. But then there'll be some point where I'm like, okay, I kind of just want to be by myself. I don't really want to be around anyone. I just want to do my own thing. I want to go for walks. I just want to read. I just want to watch Netflix. I just, spend my own time and doing my own thing. Maybe creating videos as well in my spare time when I'm not working. So I'm definitely an ambivert kind of thing. But I don't know if lockdown has kind of like forced me to be more introverted. I mean, I live with family, so I'm lucky that I have some people to interact with and keep me going in terms of like social relationships. But there are some times where I'm just like, okay, I need space. I'll just lock myself in my room. Yeah, and just be like, okay, this is my time to do whatever I want. And I kind of just feel like that pushed me to be a little bit more introverted because I've gotten so comfortable with lockdown and getting comfortable with my own company that I've actually started to enjoy it and love it so much now that I don't really feel like I have to meet people to get through my day now because of what lockdown has taught me. So in a way, I feel like I'm so grateful for it because it taught me to be able to stand on my own. But yeah, I kind of fear that when lockdown eases, am I going to be able to interact with people again? Because I feel like I've forgotten how to interact now because we've been in lockdown 3 times. So I don't know. Do you feel like that as well?
Yeah. I honestly, I do feel that um, I am a bit worried for what is coming next. I mean, excited, super excited. But at the same time, when you say, I don't know if I'm going to be able to interact with people anymore, I do feel that as well. I do feel that I'm like, to become, a little bit, socially awkward. I think every one of us will go through that phase because, I mean, guys, we've been in a lockdown for so long. We've been in this situation for literally 1 year. Today is the 27th of February. I think the lockdown in the UK started like in 1 week time, on the 8th of March. I can't remember which day.
Yeah, it was around March. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was literally 1 year ago. And yeah, I honestly feel that people will find themselves in a kind of odd, awkward situation in trying to adapt to not to adapt, trying to recall what it means to interact with people. So let me remember how do I have to do this thing, basically. But humans are just beautiful creatures, and we will find a way quickly. We will adapt quickly, and probably will be odd at the beginning, but you just need to warm up a little bit, warm up, and then
Get back into the groove.
I literally want to go to the club. Oh my god! But anyway, I want to go to the club, and yeah. So I think we will adapt. We will adapt very quickly. At the moment, it will be awkward. Yes, it will be, and we all of us we're gonna have some form of PTSD. All of us.
Some form of PTSD.
Yeah. But at the moment, I think all of us we are. We have this message engraved in our brain now, which is do not touch people, do not hug people, stay far from people, be wary of people, be doubtful about everything. So we have this, and as soon as the message will change, it will take a while for us to, I would say, be comfortable again around people. I mean, now I think you as well, when we walk on the pavement, you meet somebody, you do like,
yeah,
it is, you just dodge each other.
Yeah.
And there will a moment will come, hopefully soon, fingers crossed, touching wood and everything else, that we will not have to dodge people anymore. But from now to then, I think we're gonna have that form of PTSD in which we will still be scared of what might happen, or we're gonna feel that worry at the back of our mind. Oh my god, what if he's sick? Because we have this kind of worry that this virus can be spread also without knowing. You might be asymptomatic and you can just spread it. You date somebody, you go for a night out, for a drink, something nice happens, you just have a night together as well. Oh my god, what if any of us was sick? What if he was sick and I will be sick? What if I was sick and I made him sick? I think we're gonna have for a while this kind of worry, which is really not needed, to be honest. But we're gonna have that. But I'm grateful that the vaccines are coming along, and this will help a lot to give us peace of mind.
Yeah.
Because eventually we will say, you know what, all of us, we're all vaccinated, and we need to worry less. So I mean, yes, it will be like a bumpy road, as many people like saying. It's going to be bumpy,
Yeah.
but it will be fine.
So how long have you been single?
Forever.
Oh, maybe the last person you dated.
Can you put another crying emoji? Maybe put them. Maybe here the skull and here the crying emoji. Just put. Yeah. Basically, I mean, I used to see somebody for like some dates, but have I ever been in a relationship? No, never.
Okay.
I've never been in a real relationship in my life. I don't even know what it really means, to be honest.
I guess for me, I've been single for 3-4 years now. I can remember my last dating relationship. But yeah, it's been. I mean, yeah, we were dating, but I don't know if it's an actual relation, like, a serious relationship. But yes, the last time I dated was 3-4 years ago. But yeah, like I love that this whole experience and just being single for 3-4 years has taught me a lot. I just feel like, well, one of the main things that I've really learned from being single for so many years is that I enjoy my own company. Of course, I mentioned that earlier. I can stand on my own 2 feet. I don't really need to rely on someone emotionally and mentally or physically for me to be happy. And also I feel like patience is a virtue. If someone amazing comes your way, they will come your way. I don't need to put so much effort by going onto an app or like forcing myself to go to classes just so I can meet people. But I feel like, if this person is worth waiting for, they will come and they'll be amazing and it'll naturally just fall into place rather than me having to force into it. So yeah, that's what I've learned from being single for 3-4 years. But I was just curious, for someone who's been so single for so long, I want to know what you've learned, like being single, not only just in lockdown, but like in life in general, and how has lockdown enhanced it or changed things for you?
So I would say that I've been through stages in my life, like everyone. So my stages used to be going back years ago. Oh my God, I want to find a boyfriend. Oh my God, I'm so sick of being single. Oh my God, I'm so sick. Oh my God, I want to find somebody. So that was the first stage. So I was a serial like swiper or something like this. Back in the days, to be honest, apps did not exist. We used to have like websites, dating website, because I have white hair, so dating websites. And that was the first stage. So, oh my God, I'm single. Oh my God, I'm so sick of it. Oh my God, I want to find somebody. Then the next stage was like, oh my God, I'm so single. But that's fine. I'm not craving that relationship so much as I used to. I'm not sick of it. I'm not like feeling depressed because I don't have anybody. So yes, I would like somebody, but I'm not feeling depressed. The next stage, which is where I am now, I would say, is I am single, whatever. Am I craving somebody for somebody? Yeah, why not? Am I sick because I'm single? Not at all. So I would say that I have evolved from a stage where, oh my God, I'm single, oh my God, I'm sick of it, to I'm happy where I am and with who I am at the moment. Yeah. And I think the key in my current stage is I would like somebody only if that somebody can bring added value to my life.
Yeah, I agree.
And likewise, I can bring added value to his life.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm just emotionally, I would say, independent, like where I am, how I am now. So yes, I'm dating because yes, I would like to have, tonight, go to the sofa, watch a movie and cuddle. I would really love it. Rather than being on my own and watching BBC News, which I love. But I love BBC News. I love BBC News. I love Fiona Bruce. I love you. But no, I mean, the point is, going to be in front of the TV, just on your own. I've loved to have somebody, to have a chat, to have a cuddle. But having said that, I'd rather being on my own than being with somebody who's not bringing anything good to me, and I'm not bringing anything good to that person. So this is where I am now. Yes, I'm dating, but if it comes. If it doesn't come,
I'm
that's fine.
I'm so happy you said that, because I'm on the same boat as well. Like, I don't want someone to come into my life and not compliment my life or add any value to my life. There are some people, I don't know if this is just in young girls or just young people in general, not just young girls, but I just feel like some of them are so attached to like finding that person and being in a relationship so quickly that they're not even secure in themselves yet. So they're trying to find someone outside just to fill a hole inside. But now that I'm a little bit older and I know a little bit more things than I did before, I just feel like if you're going to be in a relationship with someone, make sure that you are secure in yourself and the other person adds or complements your life. It's a bit like an added bonus to your life. Not that the person is just, should be fixing something within you. They should just add something to your life that is just going to enhance even more rather than just feeling it. But yeah, like I'm just at that point where if that person doesn't add anything right now, then forget it. And I'm not adding anything to his life either. Forget it as well, because I don't want to waste my time and I don't want to waste his time either. So I'm on the same exact page as you. If it comes naturally, let it come, and it will happen to me. If it doesn't come anytime soon in the next 2-3 years, I'm not bothered either, because I feel like I've gotten so comfortable being by myself and just having friends and family around me who are really important and close to me. That's all I really need, really. And if a person wants to be a part of that, by all means, go ahead. But if you don't, it doesn't bother me. So I feel like I've gotten too relaxed with it, but I do hope that like something will come along. If not, I'm not even going to sweat it or even stress about it, because it is what it is and things happen for a reason. So I'd rather not force things and just let it happen effortlessly. So my next question to you that I want to ask is, whenever you fly back home to Italy, does your parents or your family ever ask you, oh, have you found someone yet? Are you dating anyone yet? I like a family dinner or like a Christmas or something. Do they ever ask you that, or like constantly?
No, no. So in my closest family, I do speak with my family every single day, and I'm absolutely open with them and with everyone, to be fair. So especially my mom, she knows if I'm dating somebody or not. Tonight I met this person, so she would know, and she would know if I'm meeting somebody like regularly. So no, I've never been asked those questions, to be honest. The only person who usually asks me that is my grandma, who pretends she doesn't know I'm gay. So she says girlfriend, but she's pretending she knows clearly. But she's just such a witty and loving lady. But she just makes fun of me, basically saying girlfriend, but she knows exactly that I'm gay. So, I love my grandma. Oh, by the way, on a funny note, she was born on the same day as me. Not the year, but she was born on the same day as me. This is just on a.
Oh my gosh,
on a funny.
Interesting. Oh my god.
Fun fact.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's okay. Not related dating, but like me and my brothers were all born in the same month.
Okay.
But we were all born in the same month, different years, of course. I was born on November 22nd. My oldest brother was born on 19th of November. And my second oldest brother was born on the 26th of November. So we were all born in November.
Please don't tell me that you used to have one birthday party for all of you.
My mom does. She does.
It's like when you're born on Christmas Day, it's like whatever.
Yeah. She was just like, I'll just figure out a time when, like, when you guys are all free on like a Saturday and Sunday, and then we'll all go to a restaurant and have a
I want my own party. I don't want the others. I want my own party.
And we would actually share a birthday cake together. We would like blow the candles together.
Well, hey.
It's how my mom saves money. I mean, when I was younger, she used to like do individual birthdays for each of us. But now that we're older, she's just like, oh, just do it in a restaurant and have one cake to share between like three of you. And then it's just been like that ever since. Save some money.
Oh God! Well, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Well, you get for having three kids. But yeah, it's the best. I love my family. Love my brothers, my mom, my dad, everyone, like extended family as well. All great. But yeah, so we're gonna end this podcast very, very soon. I know I had so much fun talking to you about, I know, like about dating and everything. I think we covered quite a lot as well in this podcast. But yeah, right. Is there anything last minute that you want to say to everyone watching this video or listening to this podcast? Any last words?
I would say hang in there. Don't lose hope. I mean, this is very, very cheesy, but that's the thing. Don't lose hope. There's the light at the end of the tunnel is there. And I would say, it's been such a shit show. Let's be honest. It's been such a shit show. But try not to think of all the bad things. Try to think about what you've learned, the epiphanies that you've had. Because surely any one of us has had at least a small one, something that they have understood about the world, about themselves, about their family, about how they do approach things. So just hold on to the lessons that you've learned and try to treasure them and try to kind of transform them and into something. Try to use them for the future. I would say just hang in there and be resilient, and everything's gonna be all right.
Gianvito, thank you so much for coming on this podcast with me, my first ever one, and just doing this interview. Where can people find you on social media? Do you want to share your social media?
Yeah, I am on Instagram. You can find me on eclectic_boy. And there are a lot of selfies and food. And I am, taking some photography, so you can see some rubbish pictures. So, but that's what you can see at the moment. And slide in my DMs if you cute.
Oh, I love that. Just get stuff out there. But yeah, I will add all of Gianvito's social media accounts, link somewhere in the description box that you guys can go and check out and reach out to him and like his photos and follow him maybe. Thank you guys so much at home for listening or watching this video. I hope you enjoyed my first podcast. Thank you again to everyone for listening, and thank you to Gianvito for being my first podcast ever. So
thank you very much for having me on. It's been such a pleasure and so much fun. Thank you.
I know. Thank you so much. I had so much fun as well filming this. But yeah, thank you guys at home, and I will see you on my next podcast. All right.
Bye.
Bye.